Hey guys, Wes Irwin here with the World of Outlaws NOS Engineering Sprint Car Series. You're listening to the Dirty Right Rear podcast.
Hey guys, Jeremy Booyer here. Jeremy Sutton here, Dirty Right Rear podcast. Man, we're excited. Tonight, we have Living Like Outlaws, World of Outlaws. I guess you would call him merch trailer, seller, interviewer, Q&A guy, a little bit of everything with the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. Wes Irwin on the show, man. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I know how hard this was to make happen. Us guys on the road, it's a little difficult to make schedules and things like that with us because we never know half the time what we're doing. Hell, I never even know what day it is sometimes.
I bet, man. And that's what I know. A bunch of people probably ask you the same stuff and everything. And I tried to dig up some stuff just to maybe ask you something different than everybody knows. You know, you drive the truck and you sell the merch and you do interviews and Q&As and this and that. But I mean, you've been doing this for what is it, 8-9 years, somewhere around there?
Yeah, this year's my 8th season, so it feels like my 80th, but I love it, man. I love everything about this lifestyle. I mean, it's not for everybody, that's for sure, but it suits me. I kind of like being I don't know what we are, gypsies, but me and my cat, man, we just we hit the road and we like doing it for 10 months, and then I get to go home to Florida. I used to live in Southwest Florida. Now I live over to Daytona Beach area. Well, really, I live at Volusia Speedway Park right now, where I work on the safety team for some big races over the wintertime. The World Racing Group just happens to own Volusia Speedway Park, so makes my rent really nice. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I bet. Well, man, you just answered like 2 or 3 of my questions I had on my thing. So
yeah, I go right from a toter home right to my RV. So there is no house. There hasn't been a house in a long time. What's the point? You know, I'm never home. So it works out. Like I was talking to a guy the other day. He said, well, what kind of car you have at home? I said, I don't have any. I sold my Jeep like 7 years ago. It's pointless to have anything.
So how do like when you're somewhere, how do you I know like when you're in Arnold per se, you stay at Kenny Wallace's house. How do you get from point A to point B without a vehicle?
Well, a little bit different this time around. I didn't stay at Kenny's this time because Kenny and Kim were on a motorcycle trip. And, his youngest daughter and her husband, Brody, are living in the shop house. And, he has Brody's running his business out of there, building Outlaw race carts. And I felt like, well, maybe those kids want to be alone, having the place to themselves, basically. So I didn't want to be like the third wheel. So I parked down at Cyberg's, basically for 2 days and just went in there and hung out with the people at Cyberg's. I love that place. The wings are amazing. But
I was going to say the wings, man.
Oh, they're amazing, man. They could be. If I had a top 5 list, they were certainly on it for a long time. Kenny introduced me to that place quite a few years back. He likes to go in there, so naturally, I turned me on to it, and I really like it. The people are nice there. You can watch baseball games there, a lot of TVs. So it was a perfect scenario. I didn't even go to a Cardinals game like I normally do. I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like doing the whole Uber thing and doing that. But Kenny's one of those guys. He'll give me a vehicle to use when I'm in town, and that happens in most of the places I go. I think because of the 8 years I've been out here, and obviously because of the Living Like Outlaws platform, I've gained a lot of friendships along the way, and I get to stay at some pretty cool places. Plug in. Hey, my Uncle Joe, you can stay at his excavating company. There's a 50 amp there, and I'm going to give you a truck to use. So pretty much my life is like that every week. So, I never really need to worry about renting a car. And I also have a Honda Ruckus I carry on the trailer, which is licensed for the road. Now, that ain't going to do me any good if I'm, 17 miles away from a town, but it certainly does me good when I'm in town, like a place like Knoxville coming up next week,
Yeah. So does Kenny let you borrow his old school Suburban?
Yes. Yeah, I drove it. I usually drive that. Yes, when I'm in town. Yeah.
We just did an interview with him over a few months ago because we had Billy Smith that used to be his crew chief dirt car, and Billy's kid runs one of my micros for me, and we did an interview up there with all of them and everything. And man, I told Sutton because he hasn't been around him as much, and I said, "Man, you're in for a treat. This guy, this guy's wild, man."
And we tried to go to Cyberg's afterwards, and we pulled in. It was Saturday about noon. Couldn't find a spot in the parking lot.
Nah, it's always full there, bud. Always
we
full.
had to settle for Steak and Shake.
Yeah, I said, watch, he's gonna take that Suburban probably through the ditch, up through the. He don't care. And I said, and it was wild. But man, yeah, he's an awesome dude too, man.
Yeah, Kenny's the kind of guy, like, after a Cardinals game, it's you're going to go through a waffle, or is it a Waffle House or whatever? You're going to go somewhere. He
Right.
likes those kind of places, but he does like to go to, like, he's taken me some really great places around here. He eats a lot. I don't know how the guy stays so skinny, but maybe it's just the way he is, as active as he is. Kenny Wallace is, like, people ask me, is he like that in real life when you're hanging out with him? I mean, he's full on, man. He's like firing up a weed whacker that never shuts off.
Yep.
And that's how Kenny, he's just he's going all the time. I wish I had his energy.
Oh man, me too. He's like a chainsaw and a weed eater and everything.
Yeah.
All in one box. At his age, man, if I can even do half of that, I'm going to be ecstatic, man. But hey, you talked about, and this is kind of probably nothing people ask you about, but you talked about your cat. Man, I'm a huge animal lover. I have like pet cows, a pet sheep. I got like barn cats.
Oh shoot, that's a lot. That's a farm.
How did you run into getting a cat with you? I mean, did you find it, or?
I don't know. I've always had dogs, and all of a sudden cats just started walking into my life, picking me and saying, "Hey, take me in." And it happened a while back. I had old Smoky Bones for a long time. He just passed away a couple months ago while we were in Knoxville. He was 16. He was my buddy forever, and we had two at the time. Her name was Patch Monkey. She was one of those calicos, and she lived to be 22 years old. And when she passed away, I had to put her down, and that sucked. But she just, she was like a light switch. She was great, and then one day she wasn't. And Smokey kind of got a little depressed, but I tried very hard not to get another cat, because it's a vicious cycle. You know what I mean? And it was about 2 years, the last 2 years of his life. We were down at Volusia Speedway Park, and Miss Marble strolled into the shop down there, the shop where the guys that take care of the track hang out and work in. She just come out of nowhere, friendly as it can be, skinny little thing, all beat up. And, everybody wanted to take her home. She's a tortoiseshell cat, so she's a pretty cat. She got attitude, but all the guys wanted to take her home, but their wives wouldn't let them. And I was like, oh no, I see where this is headed. And I tried everything to find her a home, but we were getting close to the Sunshine Nationals, I believe. And I was worried about her getting run over by traffic or, whatever. We got gators down there. We got all kinds of wildlife down there, obviously. And cats don't have a long life if they're living in the wild down in Florida. So the Sunshine Nationals are getting ready to start. It was practice night, and I work on the safety team down there. So I was suiting up, and I went up and I said, I got to get this cat out of the shop, or she's going to get run over or something. And she jumped on my scooter. She rode on my scooter down to my RV, and I opened the door, and Smoke was on the bed. Smoky Bones was on the bed, and I threw in there. I said, "You two work it out, man. I don't care what it takes." They were both hissing at each other, and I had to go. And I came back 3 hours later expecting to see fur everywhere. And what I seen was two cats curled up on the bed together. And I was like, I guess I got another cat. So
she found her home.
She did. She made it work. And she's been pretty good about being a solo cat so far. So I'm happy about that. And so hopefully we don't have to continue that vicious cycle. But it is odd that I have a cat, and a lot of people have dogs. Logan has Bubba. Sheldon has Pella. When Gio was out with us, Gio had Maggie. Of course, we won't see Gio for anymore this year. But everybody has a dog. Bill Baylog has Greta, and no cats. Trent Gower has a cat that travels with him. We found at Knoxville Raceway Park. So I couldn't take him in. So Trent and Anastasia took over his life. So it's cool. It's cool.
Cats are pretty self-sufficient though, man.
Yeah.
People realize, and people are like, I hate cats, but they're easy.
Yep.
Yeah. Super easy for this kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Cats sleep a lot, and they're known to sleep a lot. That's part of their life. So while I'm gone all day long at the races or whatever, she's sleeping. And when I come home, she's active. I try to play with her as much as I can and keep her active. She's gaining a little weight like me. Easy to do when you live like this. So we're both fat at the moment, so we both got to go on some kind of diet, I believe.
That's what we got, a cat too, and that's my favorite part. We'll go camping for the weekend. You don't have to worry about it. Put cat food, water, litter box, you're good to go. Come home,
right?
Please, and that's why we have a cat.
Yeah, she was very young when I found her, so didn't have a choice but learn how to travel. So it worked out well. She's pretty good about it. She'll lay on the dash when I'm driving and everything. The funny thing about her, I'm getting ready to do the harness thing with her. I hope it turns out well. I hope it doesn't turn into a nightmare that she wants to go out all the time now. But I want to get her outside, start walking her. But the funniest thing I ever see is when I see people standing at my toter home when I'm, off in the distance, and see them looking up in the window. I'm thinking, oh, she's in the dash and everybody's taking pictures of her. But then I see more people gather around, and I walk over to see what's going on, and she's standing on the horn, and she don't even care. She's standing on the horns blowing the whole time, the city horn on the steering wheel, and people are just laughing. She don't care.
Awesome.
How did you get involved, or how did you get your start with?
Well, I like most people out here or yourselves, I've been involved in racing my whole entire life. I even raced sprint cars for some time. I've been in all kinds of ends of the racing series. The deal, I worked at a track for Scott Gobrecht for a year. I did fan engagement. I did victory lanes. I did race directing. I flagged. You name it. I did it. Even did a little announcing at a quarter midget track we had when Scott bought Susquehanna. But I just knew people. I knew people within the company, within World Racing Group, and they found out I retired from racing, and they found out I wasn't working with Scott anymore, and I moved back home to Florida. Florida's been home for a long time now. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so I come from racing. So especially where I'm from, right in the heart of it. But I spent over half of my adult life now in Florida, and so I moved back home, and next thing I found myself on the beach again, renting jet skis like I used to do when I was younger. And I was like, this is weird, I'm just this old guy renting jet skis like I'm back in my 20s and stuff, back in my 30s, and it was okay, but I started missing racing a little bit. Luckily enough, Mike Hess from the World of Outlaws, who now works for High Limits, he kind of reached out to me and said, a couple of the people that work for him reached out to me and said, hey, they're hiring for somebody to drive their merchandise trailer and do that gig. And I wasn't really into that idea. Retail wasn't something I ever thought about. I did run a surf shop on the side for a while when I was younger, but when I lived down at the beach. And I said kind of no at first, and then I said yes. So here we are. I was hoping that one day I'd be an official on the track. That was kind of part of the plan, to get in with them and move into the officiating side of things. And well, you see where it got me. I'm still in this thing. So they take pretty good care of me. I'm not complaining at all. They know I wanted to get out of here a few times. So I think they kind of said, we're going to take care of you. We need you to stay in there. So it's a give and take, and that is on both ends. So they're taking a really, really good care of me to keep me in this trailer. And I guess that means I'm good at it, I guess.
It sent you in a whole bunch of different outlets too, though, it seems, man. It seems like you get people in all kinds of stuff. Like we were going to bring up your youth development program. And what exactly is that? Well,
So, being in the merchandise trailer, obviously I'm going to see, 98% of the fans that come to the races. There's that 2% that don't care about buying stuff, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to see me. So people got to know me, and I figured, well, why not start the Living Like Outlaws deal, and show people my travels and, tell them where to go to eat and things like that, just like a fan guide almost. And I thought, as I took that a little further and I started gaining some momentum with it, I was like, here's a good opportunity to help the younger kids in racing, maybe grow their social medias a little bit, maybe get better at talking to people, prepare them for their future in racing. So, I'm blessed to have a big stage working for the Outlaws. And, obviously that's how my stuff grew so fast, because I am working for a company that's known. And that's exactly what I did. I started gathering these kids up. I've been following a bunch of them, and I'm like, I'm trying to pick the ones that I feel are going to stay in the industry, whether it's racing or, doing something else in the industry. And I wanted some kids from all walks of life and different demographics and different, different types of divisions and different cars. And that's exactly what I did. It started off a little slow, and now it's turning into something. Now we're getting sponsors, and, we're able to give the kids a little bit of money for doing their tasks. We, every month we give away $100, like it could be $500, but we split it 5 ways. So every month the kids are eligible to win that when we spin the wheel, as long as they did all their videos for the month. So it's just a stage for them, to get noticed and help them grow. And I feel, I've had a couple of them actually get some sponsorship because of being on my page. Because I got a pretty good following, and you never know who's following, and we have businesses that follow me and business people, and I don't know them. One of the girls got a really good sponsorship out of a guy that follows my page. I don't even know him, but he owned a really successful business in her area, and just started saying, I really like following the kids, and this girl's from my area. I think I'm going to reach out and help her, and they did. And so there's things like that going on, and we want them to get responsible for what they're doing, and learn how to talk to people, learn how to be interviewed. And some it takes a little longer. Some have gotten really good. There's one girl in particular, you couldn't even get her to say much at all. She was very shy. Now she's one of the best at it, and it makes my heart feel good that I'm helping these kids develop some skills. And we're not getting them a $20,000 sponsor, or am I giving them $20,000? But we're giving them some hope, and that's what matters to me.
And the kids that seem like that they put a little more of the work in and actually do all that stuff with you and everything. Yeah. Those are the kids that want it, man. Those are the hungry kids that really are like, I want to be a race car driver. I really want to do this. So you can probably see the kids that you're like, yeah, these kids right here, this group right here, they want it, man.
Yeah. I really got a good crop of kids right now. I'm getting ready to add 2 more girls because we lost one. Only because she's going to stop racing for a little bit. She's always welcome back, but they felt that why waste that space for somebody else. I try to keep it at 15, 16 kids. It gets a little out of control. And for me, it was really, really hard. But one of the girls that has been with me a long time, Addison Roger from Massachusetts, she runs a slingshot. So, like I say, when they're from different demographics, they are, but they call her Bad Addison, and she's been with me a long time. And I finally convinced her mom to help out with this. And her mom is, just a marketing guru. And, now she's kind of heading up the youth development program for me. Like, she takes care of the video stuff and takes care of any problems we may have. And man, with that was a blessing right there. That makes it, I can go out and find other things to do that might be beneficial to these kids. But the month of July, I can't do anything. The month of July is all about the World of Outlaws. And, we're busy as can be. It's the month of money, and there's no time to even breathe. So thank God I have her now, and that made the program even 20 times better than it was.
Here on our podcast, we're big supporters of kids. Jeremy helps 5, 6 kids. He owns a car that he has a micro that a kid drives, and we've had roughly, I'm going to say we've had 30 episodes here, and probably 6 to probably more than that, 8 to 10 of them have been kids. Just yesterday, we had 2 young girls, a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old that run.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, we love the kid aspect of it, and that's the future. And we love to see what you do with the kids.
Yeah. It's
pretty, people forget about, they forget about the past, and they don't think about the future. Everything's about right now. And, I get it, but you got to start thinking about the future a little more than, unfortunately, the past. The past is the past, but, we want to keep that history alive too. I'm a big supporter of all that. And, we're going to go into the Mecca of history here next week when, we're right across the street from the, right at the same block as the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. That's our church, and that's where all the history is. But we got to think about the future for sure. We lack a little bit in that, I believe, sometimes, where everybody's worried about the now and not the what's it going to be like. But give these kids a little bit of hope. Social media is so big, it's ruthless sometimes, but it can be good. And I feel like these kids racing now, they're going to need it. They're going to need the social media skills because, obviously, that's where everything's at now, and it can make you or break you.
Yeah, that's the first step on, when you're a kid, when you're looking for advertisement, the first thing, man, Facebook or social media, it's right there. If you can't master that, then you're missing something.
It's different from the days when I run a sprint car or stock car or whatever, it's different walking in with your 8x5 or your 3x5 picture and saying, here, thanks for everything. That don't go anywhere anymore. Now these people want to see their name and everything, and they want to hear about themselves. Sometimes I don't even think sponsors care if you win. They just like to be on, I feel like most of them want to be with a flashy person and a person that, is noticed and very, socially skilled. And I feel like that's more important to them right now than anything.
Yeah, we actually have a problem with that because we started this whole deal. We don't do computers, we don't do nothing. And then we started a podcast, and our producer Chad, that owns this barn group that we run our podcast out of, he does it all for us. But if we had to do it ourselves, we'd have blocks of wood rubbing them together.
Right.
It's awful. I mean, it's pretty rough, but we're learning, and it's a pretty cool deal. And we said we were going to do 2 or 3 of these, and now we're done 30 of them, and now it's just addicting.
Well,
man.
and we need people like you guys. I mean, there's not enough, I talk about this all the time. There's a handful of people that come to mind, like Madeline Schultz, Chatty Matty, Rico, Abreu. I mean, just, there's not a lot of us good, or Kenny Wallace, there's not a lot of us people that preach the good word of racing. And I hate to use the word preach, but, there's not a lot of positive influencers in our sport. There's a lot more negative than there is positive. Thanks. Some fans are just that way, but, guys like yourselves that have a podcast, you're exposing good stuff, bringing kids on your show, bringing, drivers. You're going to have Logan Schuhart on this week, I believe, and Hunter Schuenberg. You're going to have a veteran and a rookie, different aspects of the whole deal. So, you guys are all part of the good guys. So appreciate you.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man.
Awesome to hear.
So, I mean, another question, I guess, since you go everywhere and anywhere and you've been all the places, man, where's the best, man? What's the top notch? I mean, everywhere.
Well, a lot of people ask me stuff like that. I mean, obviously they're going to ask me that, like, what's my favorite track? Who's my favorite driver?
Yeah.
After you're out here for a while, you find good in everything, and, I have some places I really look forward to. Like, for example, before the World Finals, I stay in Nashville for a week, about 8 days, sometimes 9 days. And even though we don't race around there, it's one of my favorite things to do is stop there. I get to park in a bar parking lot in between 3 bars. Not saying that's the important thing, but I'm having fun, and I can walk home and be safe. I got a lot of good friends there. I met a lot of famous country singers, and I'm not a country person. I appreciate country music. I enjoy it while I'm there. I listen to reggae. I mean, I love beach music, and but there's something about being there, the ambience of that place, and just the way country music, the history of it. I like the history of it, and I have some great friends like Keith Forbes, who wrote the song "Living Like Outlaws." I don't know if you guys listened to it yet or not, or heard it. It's inspired by me and my life on the road and the racing. It's awesome. Listen to it. His name's Keith Forbes, called "Living Like Outlaws." As a matter of fact, I'm going to dinner with him when I'm done here. They're rolling into town. He helps on the 2C car when he can. And he's I also friends with David Graham and the Eskimo Brothers, Chris Young, who sings Famous Friends. I met all these people, and you get to know them, and they're just down to earth people. So it's a good time when I stay there. I mean, obviously Knoxville coming up, that's always a good time. It never gets old going to the Nationals because it's a great place for me, because I see people like I see throughout the year, but I see them all in one place. So I can be in big groups and have a great time with them. But there's something cool about everything. And I think it's more because, it's different for you guys. You live in the same area and you have to deal with the same things all the time, the same clique and the same drama. I'm in a town for 4 days, basically 2 days of racing, 4 days of just hanging out. And when the drama starts, I'm already out the door and I don't have to deal with it. So that makes the people I see every year, it makes them special to me. It's always feels like it's new when I'm hanging out with them. I'll hang out with my good friends, Ann and Keith Ostlin. When I get to Knoxville, they became really close to me. They're from Grand Forks, and they'll hit the road with us for a couple of weeks, and they spend a lot of time out the road. And it's just nice having good friends like that. If I was still living in Pennsylvania, nothing against Pennsylvania, the people are awesome up there. I just don't like cold weather anymore. And when I could get away, I got away. My heart's always been at the beach, but it's cliquey up there. It's old country. It's Northeast. If you're not in somebody's clique, you're never going to be in it. So a lot of drama, it's small town shit. And I like my life. I'm out, as soon as shit starts, I'm out.
We know about that. We know about the small town. Ours is probably the smallest town, and we have the most drama around here. It is.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's drama out here, there's drama in everything, but the drama out here is easily handled. You know, hang on one second. Let me just get rid of this. You guys can still see me, right?
Oh, yeah.
I got Zach Campton calling me, but we'll have to answer. We'll have to talk to him later. Yeah, they're all trying to get their trailers parked and stuff up here at I-55. So where I'm at right now. So looking forward to the Ironman for sure. And, Knoxville after that. It's 2 big weeks, 2 big events, and it's going to be wild, man. And I just love it. Like I said, I love everything about what I do. I love the people. We all get mad at each other sometimes out here. It's a family. It's like family. We fight, and, it could be David Gravel's mad at me for a week and then we're okay the next week. But, it's all part of it. But it's not as bad as it could be if you're working a 9-to-5 job and having to deal with people you don't like. So I got it pretty well made. And I think a lot of people know that. But on the same note, it ain't for a family guy doing the sprint car side of things. We're just go all the time. And it's not a life for family unless you can bring them with,
Yep.
Right.
So I know you're really busy, man. We're going up on almost a half hour, but I got one more question for you. Kind of goofy, but I always thought about this because we were talking about it on the way over here. When we were kids or even as adults now, when we see trailers and stuff roll into town, we go gawk at it and we're poking around at it wherever it's parked at and everything. When you park that World of Outlaws rig, you got to have some kind of story where somebody's beat on the door.
Man. Oh my God. There's so many stories. Guys, you can't hide this thing.
That's what I was wondering.
You just can't hide from anybody. And it's great. I always look at it this way. I could be tired as can be after a 10-hour drive or 8-hour drive. We drove overnight and I pull into, we'll use a casino parking lot as an example, or a Walmart parking lot, wherever it may be. And all of a sudden you're getting circled by cars and you don't even have the engine shut off. I get like, oh man, here we go. But then I also stop and I think about like how excited those folks are that we're in town. So you kind of shrug it off and you muster the energy to talk to them and make them feel good about you being there. So I think that's important. I mean, I'm not the perfect person in the world. There's people out there that don't like me. I might have been, rude, not meant to be, or, was tired and said the wrong thing. It happens. People are people. But for the most part, I try to be cordial to everybody. And they knock on the door. I mean, I find that kind of weird, though. Some people are just brought up differently. You know what I mean? It's like, they're not afraid to knock on the door and ask you. You could be asking you, hey, you got a NOS drink, or can I see the car inside the trailer? Well, 1, I don't carry the drinks. Well, I do for myself. And 2, there's no car inside the trailer. But it's funny going down the road too. Like if you're in the slow lane and you want to get it in the passing lane to pass another truck or somebody slower in front of you, but you got a car alongside and you're like, what is that guy doing alongside of me, man? Let's go. Do they have it on cruise control or what? But then they go by and they're videotaping the trailer. So you understand, you can't hide. And that's cool that they really like it. But I mean, it is a pretty rig. I mean, I call it a pig with lipstick. Obviously it's all wrap, but you get noticed, and it's kind of cool. Sometimes I forget what I'm driving, and I always get reminded when I see people with their arm pumping out the window or giving me the peace sign, or it's kind of cool. And it makes me realize why I do love what I do, and how cool it is to be in my position.
Yep. I know a couple of years ago you was doing the live videos there as you was pulling into each racetrack. I really enjoyed those.
Yeah, I'd like to bring those back. I might bring those back. I don't remember. There was a reason why I stopped. It's just not finding the right mounts for my phone and bouncing around. And it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass when you're driving this thing.
Oh, yeah. I always look forward to those, so I've kind of missed those. That was one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. Duly noted. I've had a couple people say that.
We'll wrap this up with you. We know you're busy, man, and we really, really appreciate this, man. We're fans, and I mean, it's hard for us to control sometimes because how big of a fan we are to have people on the show that we're just super fans of. But man, if everybody listening, you can catch Wes I-55 Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park, World Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series is August 1st and 2nd. Also, the Toyota Extreme Outlaw Midgets will be there. Pits open 2 p.m., grandstands at 5 p.m., hot laps at 6:30, and go catch Wes in the merch trailer and give him a shout, man, and tell him you seen him on the Dirty Right Rear podcast.
Yeah, right on that. And we got perfect weather too. I don't see any bad weather at all. I know I insert my foot in my mouth sometimes when I say that. I said that the other week, and we got rain at Williams Grove, but now you can't control that. But it looks like perfect weather from what I'm looking at a couple hours ago.
No humidity. I can't wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be hotter than crap here. And I mean, I don't mind that, but some of the fans around here don't like that.
Yep.
All right, Wes. Well, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you.